Hey everyone, Alex Monson here. I want to give you a brief overview and history of the motorcycle genre in film. So let's get started. In 1885, the first motorcycle was made. In 1894, the first modern motorcycle was being mass produced. Since its invention, motorcycles have made their way into history. In 1903, one of the greatest motorcycle companies would have been born in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. In the 1914 silent film, Mabel at the Wheel, we see Charles Chaplin and Mabel Normand riding down the street on a motorcycle. Scenes like this are typical of the early 1900s. World War I would soon change the availability of motorcycles. Between 1914 and 1918, Harley-Davidson produced more than 5,000 motorcycles for the war effort, giving thousands of service members access to motorcycles. When they returned home, they still wanted to ride, so they created motorcycle organizations and clubs. However, the group rides would not last that long since World War II kicked off at the end of 1939. Over the period of World War II, Harley-Davidson produced over 88,000 motorcycles. In the late 1940s, these organizations and clubs would soon come into conflict. The Hollister riot was the start of the outlaw motorcycle lifestyle. In the 1953 film, The Wild One, starring Marlon Brando, the film depicted the events of the Hollister riot, solidifying the outlaw motorcycle culture. This culture would transfer over to film. In 1969, the film Easy Rider portrayed a man on a soul-searching quest on his motorcycle. Sex, drugs, and violence are all a part of the outlaw lifestyle. Over the next decade, motorcycles were represented in films that dealt with sex, drugs, and violence, like Hell's Angels Forever and Death Squad. However, in the 1980s, motorcycles were no longer a part of the outlaw culture. In the film Judge Dredd, his motorcycle is part of the hero complex. Motorcycles were now being characterized as good, and special effects were now being added to their appearance. In the 1990 films, The Matrix Reloaded, they were able to use special effects to provide seamless stunts and visual effects. In the 2000s, computer animation and visual effects were able to bring a modern touch to the film, Tron. Even with the huge advancement in computer animation and visual effects, motorcycle culture would never go away. With the release of Biker Boys and Sons of Anarchy, the motorcycle in film was thrown back into the 1940s.